Okay, now to the important match at Woodville, where the Warriors were looking to regain some sort of confidence for the finals, but their opponents, West Torrens, were running hot. They'd won a couple of matches in a row. Well, the first half was all Woodville, but by the start of the third term, the match was far from over. That's where we pick it up with commentators Kim Dillon and David Mackay.
Third term from Warrior Oval. It's the Eagles versus the Warriors. Woodville have a pretty handy 22-point lead at half-time. Kevin Harris in the thick of things. He got dragged to ground. No free kicks at the umpire. Finally, it was Max Parker out wide. Got it off to Detman. Detman in turn goes high. Underneath that one, Taylor, one hand, couldn't mark the ball. Bruce Lindsay tried to crash the pack, couldn't get through. Now Termy paddles it on in front of him, but umpire Neville Thorpe calls for a ball up.
Well, Weston's made a few moves. He's got Scott Morford at centre half-back, John Harper at full-back, Ian Hanna to a half-forward flank. David Foot's playing in the centre of the ground, and Stephen Guy's gone to a half-back flank. We'll see what else we can pick up as Pays picks that one up on the wing. Left foot kick is high and wobbly once again. Oh, up high Robson, playing centre half-forward, couldn't take it. Taylor takes the crumb, spears out a left foot pass. Dietrich picks it up on the first grab. Oh, did that well, lost his footing. Now the feed back towards Kevin Taylor. Lines up the goals and bangs it through. So that's a much more encouraging start to the Eagles. They move on to 5-8, trailing the Warriors 8 goals 6.
Oh, that was inspirational play, Kevin Taylor. That's just what the Eagles wanted. He took the ball from Robson, who attempted to mark it half forward. He speared out the pass to Grenville Dietrich, who was able to recover after a slip and get off the handball back to Kevin Taylor. Great start, the opening 30 seconds. The Eagles have got a goal on the board, and what a good one it was.
Centre field again, big Chris Lindsay in the ruck. They'll need to do it more than once. High bounce. Lindsay again with a tap. Oh, Hanna fell over, and so too did O'Dwyer. The free kick was given to Des O'Dwyer because he had front position. The kick by O'Dwyer is long, and Sewer's back onto the ground, and he's taken a good chest mark. Well, he was dangerous in the first term. He takes off, but that's characteristic, and spears out a pass which absolutely beams Gary Williams right on the chest. Williams has 2 goals, kicked at the 3-minute mark and the 21-minute mark of the first term. About 45 metres out. We got under that one a bit, and he has dragged it across to the left. So a minor score resulting. The Warriors 8-7, the Eagles 5-8.
Gary Williams' first miss. You're quite correct. He kicked 2 goals, 2 good goals in the first term. Scott Morford playing at full-back. He's still in that position, even though the Eagles have made some wholesale changes. Chris Lindsay tapped the ball down to Foot, who got it off to Pisani. Off goes Pisani on the left foot towards Lee Robson. It's centre back. Oh, there's a strong mark, Lee Robson. He's added some bite to the forward line. Now Geyer, with pace, drives through half forward. Grenville Dietrich, first man there, couldn't quite control it. Now Rogers, tackled by Kevin Taylor. It's a foot race. Dietrich dived on the ball, but Andrew Rogers was good enough to bin it off the carpet, and across the line it went. Great defensive work, Andrew Rogers, and his form today has been outstanding.
Well, that was good work by Rogers. It was great inspirational stuff, but well, gee, Grenville's showing a bit of determination there in the early stages of this third term.
Lee Robson does the ruck work. Des Dwyer takes it down and handballs forward. Now Justin Smith attempts to get a kick away. He couldn't. A ball up will take place. Been a pretty high standard game this afternoon.
It certainly has, and we look now, and Morford, now Nichols has come out to centre half forward again, so I'd say Morford's playing half back. It's pretty hard to work out what they're doing today. They've certainly played some tricks, this Warrior lineup, as Pisani picks that up by the boundary line. It's a wobbly kick, and the mark's taken by Colin McDonald.
I'm sure the Eagles will now be playing man on man. They won't worry about what positions they're playing on. They'll just grab a player. Oh, a good mark. He's been quiet today, but that one was a fine mark. Over it goes to Pays. Pays chips around the corner looking for Hanna. It's too long for Hanna. Now the bounce. Oh, it's set beautifully for Hanna. 5 goals, 8 the Eagles as Hanna shoots towards goal. That's 6 goals, 8. No worries about that. Inspirational opening to this third term. The Eagles have 2 goals on the board. The Warriors have 1 point, and Ian Hanna had everything going for him, including a great bounce.
Well, that'll give them some encouragement. These moves are certainly paying off. Pays kicked that one round his body looking for Hanna. It didn't reach him on the full. He received a lucky bounce, straightened onto that lethal left boot and banged it through the middle. Hanna's been moved to the half-forward line after a good stint in the middle. And I would suggest he's moved there not because of lack of form, but to give him some bite up forward.
Back at centre, the ball goes up. Chris Lindsay got the tap down play. He's got a push in the back, free kick. There's a man watching this game this afternoon. Will be interested to see how Andrew Pays goes, that's for sure. Kevin Sheedy, there he is, far end, watching his pupil, Andrew Pays. Being interested on... Not yet. Well, he will be. They want him. Now Taylor with pace. He's been in great form today. Goes goalward bound. Renville Seppert. Oh, good goal. The Eagles, they've kicked 3 goals in 6 minutes. They're back in this game. It looked like they were out of it at half-time. But 3 good goals set up out of the centre, and Kevin Taylor has been instrumental in 2 of them, and his game today has been great.
Well, Taylor kicked the Eagles' only goal in that second term. He's kicked 2 in the first 5 minutes of this third quarter, and the Eagles are back in business. They trail by 5 points, and what a turnaround. Incredible stuff here at Woodville Oval. The Eagles side were very ordinary in that first half.
5 points now the margin. It was 22 points at half-time. Chris Lindsay got the tap out again. It went to ground. Picking up the crumbs was Toomey. Off it goes Max Parker minus his moustache. Now Detman, an opportunity through half forward. He goes. Now the kick goes long. Williams underneath that one, couldn't control it. Guy can for the Eagles. Out of defence they come. Justin Smith thumps it forward. Hayes covering plenty of ground, picks up the crumbs. The handball is long to the big pencil. Chris Lindsay puts it in long to the forward zone. Robson one hand. Oh, he just got to that. Coming through strongly, McDonald. Good defensive work. Now the handball out. An opportunity for Rogers. No, that was Swartz. Drives long. Underneath that one, Haylock. He looked to play on, but Justin Smith made sure he didn't go anywhere.
Well, that was great work by McDonald. Haylock put Detman under pressure. In turn, he put Hughes under pressure. Enormous pressure, and he's been ping-holding the ball. Thorpe's in the play again. I'm sure he wants to be a footballer, Neville Thorpe. He's always getting in the way. Parker holding the ball. Well, this game's livened up in the third term. Mick Edmonds, what's a wobbly kick. The pressure's got to him. Wasted opportunity.
Oh, look at the glare of Paul Weston downfield. He was free. That's where the kick was intended to go. Weston just letting Edmonds know he wasn't too pleased at all with that kick. Now Max Parker, Lee Robson front position, got it down. Botia grabs the ball, tackled too high, but the umpire said there was no opportunity. Andrew Taylor right on top of Dominic Botia. Neville Thorpe will ball it up.
I don't mean to be hard on Neville Thorpe, but we saw him last week and he was knocked over by John Schneebichler and a few other players, and he's taken a few heavy ones in the last couple of weeks. Panizza. Well shepherded by Haylock. He allowed Taylor to give it to McDonald. In turn over the top to Toomey. He's had a real dip this afternoon. He's had a real go. He wants to consolidate his position in the side. The kick is long. Oh, Williams was held onto by Harper, and umpire Elliott didn't see that one. Williams not happy. We could see it from up here.
Oh, you'd have to have been a blind man not to. Williams certainly let the umpire know what he thought about that. The ball comes back into play. Chris Lindsay got it down. Templeton couldn't come through. Bruce Lindsay thumps it down. Now Chris Lindsay on the left boot. He goes long, but who's back there? Big Max Parker. He's got a paddock in which to work. He played on. Smith applied the tackle. It went off looking for O'Dwyer. He couldn't control the ball. Neither could Detman. Now Haylock tackle when not in possession. O'Dwyer, stolen by Robson. He's done that superbly. Robson's influence at centre-half forward has been instrumental in the Eagles getting back into this game. McDonald clean bowled. Taylor commitment. Tackled strongly. Free kick. Play on advantage. Edmonds gets it off to Hannah. Hannah into the open goal. Blasts away. He didn't bother to steady. They've paid the penalty. 1 point to the Eagles and a promising move gone begging.
It certainly was a promising move, and what clever football by Paul Weston to smother that ball on the half-back line. The attempted handball. This game has certainly livened up as Rogers dropped one in short to McDonald. 51 plays 55. We've had 9 minutes. McDonald goes out wide to Brentley Hughes. The pressure will be applied by Pays. Hughes has done it well. He's clear now and gets the kick away, and it finds the chest of Williams. Drops that one. Umpire Elliott, very lenient there. Williams is a very long kick normally. He's got onto that one pretty well. The accuracy isn't quite there. So the Warriors come back with a point. They move on to 56. And Torrens, playing inspired football, 3 goals this term, are on 51 points.
2 goals, 2 to Gary Williams. warming up on the boundary line. Shane McGrath and Greg Hodgson. Chris Lindsay flies at that one, couldn't control it. Now Smith, he handballed it forward, it hit the line and went out of play. So the Eagles have their small men on the field, their big fellas on the bench. Obviously felt that they were a little bit top heavy. They've just rearranged the balance. Boundary umpire Michael Wilson brings the ball back into play. Chris Lindsay from the front position. Taylor got the ball. Bruce Lindsay with desperation got it back. Weston around the body on the left boot. Oh, and Lee Robson, well done. He played the front position. Then he grabbed the ball and he won himself a free kick in the back. A free kick for a push in the back. Now goes long, Weston. Oh, courageous Weston. Put himself in. Edmonds goes long. That was a superbly placed handball. David Foote right the way through half forward. Lines up the goals, but it's going to drift off line, however, and through for one behind. So the Eagles doing all the attacking. They're starting their run from half back, just as the Warriors did in the first half.
Well, that handball by Mick Edmonds was one of the best handballs I've seen for a long time. It was an absolute perler. A couple of promising attacks, and they haven't finished off their work, the Eagles. Let's see how the Warriors bounce back here. They're under a bit of pressure. Rogers with the kick out to the outer side, looking for Max Parker. The kick is good. Parker takes that cleanly. Feeds off to Panizza. Panizza across ground. Taylor will have to go back into Weston. Well, good play, good football, good umpiring. Pays over the top towards Guy, the deputy vice captain for the Eagles. He's been a bit quiet this season. The kick is good and long. Dietrich from behind. Couldn't take it. Bonia with the crumb. Snapshot. He's kicked it. Oh, magnificent. What football. Well, this term has had everything. Dietrich got up very high, but it was Dominic Fatia who took the crumbs, banked through his second, and the Eagles have hit the front by 2 points, and we've had 12 minutes.
Oh, no doubt about it. That was a great Rovers goal, Dominic Fatia. He juggled the ball. He was under plenty of pressure. He had great skills to be able to control it. Then he just dribbled it across the line. Great goal, and the Eagles have hit the front for the first time this afternoon.
Brett Mackrith and Romano Negri warming up on the boundary line. Moves could be afoot. Parker with the tap. Was smothered. Haylock took it. Tackled. Oh, well done, Panizza. He was met solidly by Pays. Ralph Stock. Good mark, Nichols. He's taken 3 like that today. This won't hurt his confidence at all. Taylor wanted it short. Williams leads to the pocket. Oh, he attempted a screw punt. It's a wobbly old kick. Awkward bounce. Toomey grabbed that. Couldn't get the kick away cleanly. Eventually the ball runs out of play in that left forward pocket there. 12 and a half minutes gone. 56 plays 58. We've got a real game of football here at Woodville Oval.
Oh, have we what? And I can tell you there's no love lost between Paul Weston and Andrew Taylor. They've been going pretty hard at it all day. Toomey tackled strongly. Kevin Harris bursts his way through the pack. Oh, that was an outstanding solo effort. Puts the ball up. It's right through the middle. That's Kevin Harris's first goal for the afternoon, and you couldn't get a better one to try and get your side back in the game.
Well, that's what Kevin Harris is known for, his strength, his ability to break tackles and kick goals. But by rights, there was no way in the world he should have got out of that tackle. It was just sheer strength. Broke away 2 tackles, then snapped truly, and that could be the goal, just to steady this Woodville side and get them back into business.
David Elliott at centre field has the ball, ready to unleash the big fellows yet again. There's a fair bit of height out there. 203 centimetre Chris Lindsay got that tap. Max Parker, 195. Pays, he's a lot smaller than that. Goes long, Fatia, opposed to Fantasia. Fantasia's had a pretty good game out of the back pocket. He keeps the ball in play. No, he doesn't. Across the line it goes, says the boundary umpire, and back into play it'll come. 14 minutes gone, third term. Certainly a great game of football unveiled at Warrior Oval. 62 plays 58. It's now the Warriors by 4 points. Robson from behind it was McDonald. Down it went Swartz with the quick kick away. Forward it goes underneath that one. Almost a good mark taken by Toomey. Bruce Lindsay tries to burst his way through. He was tripped, however, by Brentley Hughes, and Lindsay has the free kick. Now on the left boot he goes. He elects to go short on the leads. Mick Edmonds over his head. Hannah was clean bowled. Des O'Dwyer comes out. Left boot wide. Detman and Eichner. Detman in the front position. Eichner had a fumble. Now a ball up.
Just on the 15-minute mark, 9-8 plays 8-10. 4-point lead to the Warriors. as umpire David Elliott will put the ball down on the outer side. Great pace in this third term. The ball by Lindsay, tapped out towards Hannah, now on a half-forward flank. Back to Pisani, who appears to be ruck roving. Kicks it out looking for Dietrich. Well spoiled there. Harris in. Now that's the Kevin Harris we know. Full front on attack. The handball back towards Panizza. Foot at the back of the pack. Takes it cleanly. Handballs out towards himself. He'll have to contend with Harris as he bustles him over the line. In fact, he kept it in play. Good play, Kevin Harris. Getting back to his old form. Panizza over the head of Hughes. Perhaps Pays is now playing centre, possibly. The ball tapped out towards Enright. Kept it in front well. Oh, held on to it. Tried to get the handball. Great tackle by the Warriors. Now the ball out towards O'Dwyer. Robson. O'Dwyer. Weston. Everybody's in there having a go. Pisani, sheer strength. Rugged off the tackle. Spews out a pass and he's hit the chest of Grenville Dietrich. Ooh. Certainly happening here. Dietrich's kick is accurate, so it's the Eagles that are back in front. They move on to 64 points, leading the Warriors by 2 points.
Well, that was great play. It started with Lee Robson and Paul Weston. Midway between centre-half forward and the centre of the field, they battled strongly for the ball. Finally, it gave an opportunity for Pisani to burst his way through, and his kick was well placed. He straight and steadied and chipped it in nicely. Grenville Dietrich marked and made no mistake. 5 goals this term, the Eagles, 1 to the Warriors, and the Eagles are back in business.
Very high standard game here at Woodville Oval. Neither ruckman able to win the tap. Parker did it well, though, to get that handball out in the direction of Nichols. Nichols and turn over towards Panizza. Panizza straightens up the body, uses that explosive pace he possesses and bangs it through the middle. What a reply. Well, I tell you what, Daryl Panizza has been as busy as a Beirut bricklayer today. He's been in absolutely everything, and he's kicked his first goal for the game.
I'd like you to repeat that. Panizza's first goal certainly was a gem. He used his pace, he accelerated around Paul Weston, he saw that he was clear, and then he ran the whole gauntlet right into the open face of goal, slammed it through. The lead has changed again. That's the 4th time this quarter the lead has changed. It's a seesawing battle between the Eagles and the Warriors, and certainly this game's going to go right down to the wire.
Incredible stuff. Well, we've got Bob Enright in the centre square now, following Ralph Sewer down. So I think David Mackay's correct. They're just going to play it man for man. They're not worried about all these moves that the Warriors are making. Lindsay taps it on. Detman had a pretty useful game. Kicks out wide. One-on-one battle. Templeton and Geyer. Geyer got hands to it. Stolen there. No, stolen by Smith, in fact. His kick around his body. Fodia with the line. Detman, good mark. Been a solid performer. Been in and out of the side this year. He's definitely staking a claim to stay on that side for this final series that's coming up. West Pisani, oh, mark not paid. Well, there's been one similar to that paid today.
Blood streaming from the ear of Paul Pisani, so he certainly copped a heavy one. Shouldn't worry him too much, the truck. Pretty damaging player. Certainly likes it tough. Paul Weston over the top. Dumped it solidly towards the boundary line. Out of play it goes. 10 goals, 8 the Warriors. 9 goals, 10 West Torrens. 4 points the difference. The Warriors are in front. We've had just on 19 minutes of the third term at Warrior Oval as Lindsay gets the tap down. Oh, stolen cleverly by Harris. He burst his way through. Off goes the handball. Brentley Hughes accelerates through half forward. Pushes it in looking for Williams, but underneath that one, oh, it's been tapped forward. Now an opportunity for Williams. He snaps at goal. Round the body, but offline, 1 point. Well, the Eagles didn't do that too well at all.
Chris Lindsay off the ground, Big Greg Hodson back on, and that was a good 15, say 18 minutes of football by Chris Lindsay. Really put in hard as Morford goes to the outer side and finds Andrew. Didn't find Andrew Pays, he dropped that one. Foot in there, 2-on-2 battle. Free kick's been picked out and will go the way of David Foote. Now the Woodville runner is out onto the ground. As that ball speared in towards Bob Enright. Oh,
You've got to pay it.
Well, I don't think you should, really, because I thought he pushed him in the back. He put his hands on his shoulders to get up. I'd like to see that again.
Had his eye on the ball.
But you can't put your hands on their shoulders. Dietrich! That's not paid. Play on. Action aplenty at Woodville Oval as the pass is chipped out by Fotia towards Greg Hodson. I'd like to see it again. It happened pretty quick.
Yeah, I think if you're an Eagles fan, you'd pay that mark. If you weren't, you wouldn't.
Well, I used to be. I'd like to see it again. We don't have the advantage of the replay up here. Hodgson. His kick looks pretty good off the boot, so the lead changes once again. The Eagles now a point in front. They're on 10-10-70, leading the Warriors 10-9-69.
We mentioned earlier in the game that the Eagles' problem was through half forward. Shane McGrath wasn't giving the Eagles any drive. They've moved Lee Robson to that position, and I tell you what, he's certainly brought the Eagles to life. He's been in everything. Greg Hodgson having a run on the ball, drifted downfield, took the easiest of chess marks and gold. But that's the Eagles' 6th goal this term. The Warriors have only been able to get 2, and certainly now 1 point the difference. This game is still turning into in fact, it's developing into a real humdinger.
The Eagles, after 3 wins in a row, the Warriors have to win this to have any hope of the double chance. Sewer paddles it in front. Parker gave it back to Sewer. Ran into Lindsay. That's holding the ball. Bruce Lindsay's been a quiet player. Goes across ground, over the head of Haylock and Enright. Haylock first to recover. Inboard, back towards Sewer. Templeton's by himself, decides to go it alone. Has one bounce. Now drives in long. Williams back there. Nearly took a one-hander. Harris with the crumbs. Being harassed by Pisani. Back towards Nichols. That lethal left boot. Have a look at that for a shot at goal. Oh, what a ripper. You reckon he can't kick goals? That was a gem. Oh, a real sharpshooter's goal. That one by Stephen Nichols. He's finding some form today, and the lead changes again. Now it's the Warriors by 5 points.
Stephen Nichols had 83 goals before today's game. That takes his 4th for the game to 87 for the year. He's still on target to kick 100 goals for the season. But I doubt you'll see many amongst that 100 that'll be any better than that one. That was a real sharpshooter's goal, you're quite correct.
Hodgson posed to Parker. The tap won by Hodgson. Ball bounces out towards Hannah. He's dispossessed. Templeton got it out towards Schwarz, in turn to Jacquia. Haven't seen much of him this term. Puts out a low kick. Oh, well taken there by, appears to be Brentley Hughes. It is, one way then the other. The boy from Catherine. His kick is high, Enright, great courage. Quick handball out towards Morford. Morford has a bounce. In fact, 2 bounces. Robson wants it in long. The handball goes over the top to Weston. Oh, he drew the player well. Oh, a ton of experience, Paul Weston. Out Dietrich, and he's got it. Second man. The big fella has already kicked 1 goal. We'll try and find out how many he's kicked for the season. It's only about 25 metres out.
He's kicked 48 for the season. He's had 40, in fact, he's kicked 47 for the season. He hasn't got one. Oh, yes, he has. He's got one earlier.
So he's going for his 50th. In fact, his
49th
goal, and he's kicked it. So 49 goals this season to Grenville Dietrich, 2 today. And once again, it's the Eagles in front. And do you think this lead hasn't chopped and changed this quarter? The Eagles lead by a point.
Yeah, well, if you paid your $5 to come to the Warrior home ground today, I reckon you've got your money's worth. This game started out as, plenty. It really opened up in fine style, and it's got better as the game's gone on. No doubt the fans are getting their money's worth today as Grenville brings up goal number 49 for the year.
Breeze, if anything, favouring the southern end. Appears to be going across the ground, though. Hodgson again, another big thumb, getting his hand to the ball. Anna in with a chance. Oh, well done, Peter Schwarz. Good player for the Warriors. Assistant performer. That's a good mark to Andrew Pays. We mentioned before, Kevin Sheedy here watching the game today. No doubt would have his eyes on Andrew Pays. Hannah up high, couldn't control it. Harris burst his way through. He's really found some of his old form in this 3rd term. Over to Panizza. Been a star today, Daryl Panizza. Morford got there first. Good mark. Interesting to note that the Warriors have been quieter this quarter, and so too has Andrew Taylor. Out of play, grandstand wing.
Yeah, he's certainly the key to their their success in the first half. He appeared to have a ruck roving commission from centre half forward. He was changing with Nichols, or so it appeared. It was very difficult to pick up the changes, but all over the field, Andrew Taylor in that first half was in dynamic form. Foot from the ruck tap out. Templeton smothered it over the top. Templeton. The ball popped out, but not in enough time.
So I just don't think there's any need for the umpires to blow the whistle then. The ball was going to work its way clear.
Michael Templeton certainly one that was disappointed that it didn't come out. He just slapped Lee Robson. Now Fotea on the left boot. Cleverly, Ian Hanna taps it inboard. Coming through Des O'Dwyer, who was nearly strung out like a clothesline. Now Jack Weir wide. That was a well-placed kick. Haylock has the bounce of the ball, taps it on. Opportunity now for Nichols. He was clean bowled. Morfitt back to Smith. The Eagles are certainly combining better as a team now in this third term as the ball goes to half forward. Edmonds, for a little man, doesn't he take a good mark?
He's got some skill.
Now wider still, Kevin Taylor and Detman. Detman interfered with Taylor, no free kick. He kept the ball in front of him as Eichner goes after him, but the ball's beaten both players across the line, and we'll have a boundary throw in with 30 seconds into time on third term, and it's 1 point the difference. The Eagles have the lead.
Been a great quarter of football. The Warriors have kicked 3 goals. The Eagles have kicked 7. Hodson over the top. Robson been a live wire up forward. One-on-one. Dietrich got a hand to it. The spoil by Rogers. Desperate work by both sides.
Oh, Dominic Fotea, isn't he a terrier?
Certainly is a fearless character.
Wearing a great number. Guernsey made famous, of course, by Lindsay Head. Later worn by the infamous Kim Dillon. Jack Weir back. Got it off to Fantasia. Fantasia's kick was smothered. Now Eichner tries to come through, but he was met solidly by Panizza. Finally, the ball ends up out wide with Michael Templeton. His kick is high towards the outer wing. Underneath that one hand around at Williams, down from full forward. He's won himself a free kick, but he's a long way down from full forward.
Well, we've certainly seen some players roaming far and wide doing their kicks today.
They seem to be rotating their forward line, the Warriors. Toomey appears to be at full forward, but quite rightly, the Eagles are playing man on man, and Bruce Lindsay appears to be playing at full back. Now Weston with the mark. So the Eagles have settled well. They're playing man-to-man football, and it's worked. And behind play, there's this nice old stoush going on. Harris and Hodson it was. No numbers taken. The umpire's ordered the ball comes back. Nobody knows whose kick it should be. Weston from the outer wing, and a 30-metre penalty. Must be 30 metre. It would be the longest 15-metre penalty you'd ever see. Weston elects to go long. Grenville Dietrich on the lead. Underneath that one, Rogers thumped it down. Ball came to ground. Edmonds got the ball off. In fact, it wasn't Edmonds. Who was it out there? Dominic Fotea. Ian Hanna.
Well, this has turned into a real game of football. It's got everything at the moment. Bruce Lindsay is currently at full back on Chris Toomey, and he just ran about 200 metres up the ground and made Toomey chase him, even though he didn't get anywhere near the ball. So players applying pressure on each other, even when the ball's nowhere near them, as that kick's on its way, but it's offline for a minor score.
How far did he run, Kip?
Well, 150 metres. The point I'm trying to make, the ball's at the other end of the ground, and players are still keeping each other honest.
David Foote, 4 points for the afternoon. Unusually inaccurate kicking for him. He's normally a very accurate kick. As Hodson thumps the ball down, Kevin Taylor applied the tackle on Des O'Dwyer. He was good enough to get away a kick, O'Dwyer. The bounce is not good for Panizza. Pays is there. He'll need to be quick. He wasn't quick enough. Brentley Hughes ran him down. Now over the top of it, Haylock bursts his way through. Guy met Haylock solidly. The ball is out of play. Certainly well applauded by the West Torrens fans. Good play, Steve Guy, the Deputy Vice-Captain.
A few tight players. This game's been at a crackerjack pace. Parker tapped it down. It was stolen by Pays. Pays with a better-looking kick. Out looking for Hanna, and he's found him.
The Eagles are playing much more direct football.
Ian Hanna with a useful first half in the middle. I would suggest he was thrown onto the half-forward flank to give them some bite up forward. I would say it's worked. He's kicked 1 goal this term. Normally a pretty long kick. Powerfully built. 1 goal 1, in fact, he's kicked. Make that 2 goals 1. And the Eagles just open up a little bit of an advantage here. They move on to 12-11, leading the Warriors 11-9.
30 minutes gone, third term, and it's been a quarter that the Eagles would certainly remember. They've kicked a magnificent 8 goals this term. Woodville, on the other hand, have been only able to manage 3. This could well be the quarter that decides the game. The Warriors look to have it sewn up at half-time, but the Eagles have had different ideas.
Centre field again, Parker and Hodgson to do battle. The big men fly. Parker more or less won that tap. Now feeds out the handball towards Haylock. It's had a pretty good turn, Max Parker. Ralph Stewart takes that on his chest. He left the ground in the second term, appeared to be injured, but he's moving quite freely now. And the mark back there is taken by Scott Morford. Morford plays on with a handball over the top to Andrew Pays. Pays with another floating kick. He went for the boundary line there. And that's pretty intelligent football because we've had 31 minutes. There'll be a bit of time on. Oh, great term of football. Some great individual efforts. A few big marks by Nichols. Strong work by Kevin Harris. The ball out towards Stephen Geyer. Geyer's drop punt pass. Out there, Edmonds used his body well. Now recovers. One way then the other. He's a skillful little player, Fodia. Oh, great work, Fantasia. In there again, trying to work it out. Eventually, Eichner. O'Dwyer leads in the chase. Picked up by Fotia. Oh, high handball. Punched forward by Robson. Back towards Robson again. Short pass to Edmonds on the left boot. The kick's an absolute shocker. Oh, it was a horrible kick. That was near on criminal, that one. And there's the siren then, the great term of football. The Eagles have snatched the lead. The Warriors are on 11-9-75. West Torrens 12-12-84.
So a match of 2 halves. First Woodville, but in the second it was Torrens by a margin of 12 goals to 5. The Eagles victors by 19 points. Taylor kicked 4 goals and Hannah 3 for Torrens. And for Woodville, Stephen Nichols kicked 5 goals. So it was win number 9 for Torrens, with something of a foreign legion. 1987 will go down as being a pretty rewarding year for them. One member of that foreign legion, Scott Morford, is speaking here with Kim.
Win today, but it must be frustrating playing your best football at this time of the year and not knowing you won't be a part of the finals.
Yeah, it's very disappointing considering we've hit our straps now and just that little bit too late.
What happened in the first half? You looked terribly disorganised, especially in that first term. There was players running everywhere. No one appeared to know who they had to pick up.
They confused us early. They had a couple of players changing from centre forward into the ruck roving, and that threw us, and they had loose men everywhere.
Is that really your hat or not?
No, Rex's.
Well, what about your own form? You played in a number of positions. You played in the centre, ruck rover, half-back flank, half-forward, full-back today. Where do you prefer to play?
Oh, I like to get in the centre because that's where the action is, but I'm quite happy to play anywhere I can be a help to the team.
And what about the future? You enjoy South Australia? You'll stay here next year?
Oh, very much so. The club's been good to me and I'll stick with them, I think.
Well, the club's got an opportunity to win 4 games in a row next week. They haven't done that for 10 years. What do you think your chances are like?
Oh, very promising.
Well, let's hope you can make it. Thanks very much, Scott.
Thank you.
Scott Morford speaking there with Kim Dillon. And Darryl, Torrens have done pretty well with their recruits this year.
Well, I don't know if they've done a lot better than they did last year, really. Yes, they've done well with Morford and Christensen, and he's unlucky to be injured, and McGrath's played better as the season's gone on. But I like to think about the local juniors, and they've snuck a few into the side. But really, have they got a great future with the likes of Dietrich at full forward? He won't play a lot longer. If they lose Pays this year, they can't hold Lindsay, they could be in trouble.
Well, there's no doubt Torrens at the moment are the best team outside of the top 5. They can't make it, but it makes you think back, what could they be doing if they'd won those close ones earlier on?
Yes, they weren't kicking very accurately early in the season, particularly with Kevin Taylor. He was the player who got the ball, couldn't put it through the middle. I think Paul Weston's learned a lot as coach. He's working better now tactically and in strategy, so yes, they have improved.
As for Woodville, another loss. That's, what, 4 in a row, but apparently there were some good signs.
Well, I believe so, and Kevin Harris seems to have done well, directed goals. I think if Taylor can play it well at full forward, Rogers has done better today at centre-half back, and Nichols obviously now kicking goals again.
Still to come on league football action, the Tigers and the Bloods at Richmond, but first to the newsroom, and it's good evening, John Ovenden.